Hey guys, Jay here, and welcome back to the channel. So don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, hit the notifications bell to stay informed. So with all of the different news that's currently coming out of the woodwork, it's really important that we don't get too ahead of ourselves. And there's a very specific document that is floating around Twitter at the moment, and we've been diving into it, myself and Strafe. So this is a joint episode here on the channel for you folks. And there are some discrepancies with this, and we kind of want to go through it with you. We want to show you what we're looking at, and we kind of want to explain our point of view on things and go through these different discrepancies. So Strafe, I've currently just blipped up the document here. Let's move over to a podcast session. We'll keep the document up in the bottom right hand corner for people.
Yeah. Hi.
Yeah, this is an interesting document, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite interesting because from most of the comments that you read on X, or formerly Twitter, it's a list of TFL or LFG wallets, and so people are kind of discussing how much is in there and if it could be burned or frozen or whatever.
But the wallet itself, what I would say got my heckles up, so to speak, was definitely that this document has more or less just appeared out of thin air. And normally with this, we would assume that somebody's leaked it, especially with us going in and we've been looking for this Terraform trial exhibit P301, and we think we found it, haven't we?
It's the only thing you find when you Google for it. So I guess should be it because it's this document somewhere linked to that in the title if you compare it.
So I've just got this document up, and as the people viewing can see in the top left-hand corner, we have got Terraform Trial Exhibit P301. And this is a confidential document. So whatever is in here was requested to be sealed by TFL. So whatever's inside this document, if it is what has been leaked, is very interesting. And what we need to understand is there's a lot of people that have got axes to grind, and there's a lot of coins out there that people genuinely feel that we have a right to access those coins and destroy them. We know that if people had their own way, they would probably burn all of Binance's coins and all of the coins on different CEXs. So when it comes down to a document like this, Strafe, you wouldn't just go through and blacklist them one at a time. It's going to take a long time. The likelihood is you would do some kind of bulk blacklisting, right?
Yes, normally if you really wanted to start blacklisting this on the level on the lowest level, so the level one of the blockchain, you would likely have a list where you just put those wallets in, or even or even remove the funds in there. But it's not that straightforward. But if you would do it, you wouldn't do it one by one. You would have some kind of script or list or something similar to that.
So when it comes down to our ecosystem, there's no real way to go through and say definitively this wallet belongs to this person. But for a long time, we have been logging different things, different events, and we know through LUNC Dash and the metric systems and the money flow, we know a lot of the different wallets. Not all of them, not a huge amount, but we do know a lot of the wallets and who they belong to. For example, Binance. So when it comes down to, for example, blacklisting just all of these in one go, right? Let's say, for example, we just assume that all of these are right. It's a correct document. It has officially come from that exhibit, and we just go ahead and do it, to then find out later that there are some serious discrepancies where the wallets that are included in this list actually contain the Binance hot wallet, and some other serious contenders in the space. So for me, this is kind of like placing a Trojan horse at the door. And I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not saying anybody's bad for putting this out there or following it up, because that's what it's all about. You find what you deem as evidence, and then you go through, you dissect it, and you do a lot of back checking and research. So Strafe, we've spent probably the best part of 20 minutes before this video just going through and double, triple checking different things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the screen over to Strafe specifically because he's sharing his screen. I'm going to let you give them your input on this, Strafe.
Okay, I just want to mention how this started, because I was confused when someone on X mentioned a specific wallet that people forgot as being processed by TFL. And we have this wallet database on LUNC Dash and the database in the background, where we have listed some ownership. Some are quite confident, some are not that confident, but for most of the wallets where we have a CEX relationship in the in the database, that is quite that's quite reliable. And so I was confused because the wallet mentioned in my data was listed as coin one, which is a South Korean CEX. So that was confusing at that moment, but then people said it's in this document, and it is in that document, but it is marked as TFL there. So what we did then was take all the Terra related wallets with the Terra prefix and put it in our database as a list. So you can see that here on the screen, I guess. And if I execute that, then I get my list with those wallets that have no description on it. That's where I don't have any ownership stored. And like the wallet ending with H2F, where LFG governance is. But as you can see here, this KFMW wallet is definitely Qcoin deposit wallet. It's definitely not a TFL wallet, but it's listed in the document. And on the second page, it's LFG governance, TFL. So nothing to see here, nothing to see on that page. But here we have the old EHT5 Binance deposit wallet. It's also listed in the Excel file that was shared and marked as TFL. Same below the X93 wallet, which belongs to Upbit CEX. And the wallet in question, the 8JR4, which is coin one deposit. So all those wallets, in my opinion, are related to the TFL case because they might have moved some funds there or received some funds there from one of their main wallet. But it would be devastating to assume all the wallet addresses in that document belong to TFL and have to be blocked or burned or whatever. That could lead to some serious damage. So we have to be absolutely very, very, very careful about that.
Absolutely. So as you can see, we're doing a lot of checks. We're double, triple checking things behind the scenes. So your point you raised there, Strafe, is incredible, because what this could be is a genuine leaking of what is in that exhibit that has been put as confidential and requested as confidential by TFL. And if we are to say to ourselves, it's legitimate, why are we seeing Binance Deposit? Why are we seeing Upbit? Well, maybe, just maybe, because of the way the document's been put into a native form, as stated on that exhibit, it could be that there's memos involved. It could be that there's something missed from this document, and it could be that they've got funds on that exchange, like Strafe's saying. I think this is a
Yes.
really important point, and it's so important right now that we do not make any rash decisions. And I think everybody is doing their utmost best. And like I said, this isn't a video to try point fingers or be like, oh, he shared a document, because I think Vegas is doing an amazing job of chasing up and trying to figure things out. But this is really good. Once again, the intercommunication of this community will allow it to push through this thing moving forward. So Strafe, let's now we've got the discrepancies out. We've explained this document. We'll leave a link to it so people can download it and have a look as well and run their own checks. But let's move to the next scenario, and let's think about, once we get a list. We know TFL are doing a space on Friday. Hopefully, someone's going to get to speak, and I think the most important thing to ask would be, can we have a list of all of the TFL related wallets. So we
So
can go through and we can blacklist the actual wallets. But what do you think?
I mean, it depends. If they, I think there are different opinions out there, and I don't know which one of them is correct. If TFL is allowed to send tokens to the burn address, or if they are not allowed to move tokens at all from those wallets, even if it is for burning. And so one point is, yeah, it depends on what TFL would do. If they would be willing to just send all those funds they own in these wallets to the burn address, then in fact we wouldn't have to do anything, because the funds would be gone then, and yeah, blacklisting the empty wallets wouldn't do much. In case they are not allowed to, I probably would wait, because for them risking to move those funds, I'm not sure if someone would really risk doing such a thing against court order. And you have also to keep in mind that just blacklisting or even erasing is not that much of a simple task, because if you want to erase a full wallet from existence, you have to modify the state in a way. For example, it would be possible with a new genesis where you exclude the wallet from the new genesis, or you would have to alter the core to make a kind of injected code into the core where you burn the funds in that wallet. But that's all of that is very intrusive in my opinion. So I'm not really a friend of doing such a thing. There are not that much options of doing such a thing. You could add a new blacklist feature, but yeah, then probably there would be the decision to make if you do it configurable by governance, with is a risk in itself if governance just can add blacklist wallets to a list. Yeah, as it's, I think it's not simple to deal with those wallets at all.
No, it's not. But one thing that's clear to me is that there are two wallets that is very simple to do it with. One of them being LFG, and a really important point which Chris has kindly pointed out is they're not in control of the situation, nor are they in control of LFG anymore. Instead, the creditors are more or less in control at this point. So LFG's just in limbo. I think the longer we wait, the more time we give for them to maybe act and do something with those. We know that they're going to make that transfer. So I think getting to the LFG assets is vital, because that's 1.85 billion USTC. That would be very detrimental to the chain. It's just really interesting, this whole situation. But I think you're right, Strafe. There's no easy way to go about this. We're really going to have to come together in this situation.
Yeah, there's even the way, even if you would decide to do something, you would still have to decide on the way. And we have seen earlier with the risk harbor funds that the decision is not really an easy one, and only was resolved because that one was a contract, in fact, and not a native wallet on chain. And yeah, handling native wallets is much more complicated in terms of just messing around with them. So it's very questionable if there is a viable way to deal with that on the chain side.
The easiest option I see right now is Chris and TFL more or less doing us a solid one on the way out, and just giving us that list of all of the addresses, so we can just go through and systematically remove them in some way, shape, or form, whether that comes in the form of what you're explaining or some other way, because obviously we know that no one person has a solution for this. In fact, there's probably 100 solutions that you could use and utilize to do this. So really important point. Just because you've heard from us something's complex, somebody else might sit and say, well, actually this is really easy, guys. So just, do take that in your stride. So something that I think is really good and really relevant at the moment, Strafe, is the use of money flow, the money flow tool itself, being able to flick between the Luna Classic denom and the USTC denom, especially with BitQuery just completely darking us out. This really becomes a place where people can actually get information to cross-reference and double check things.
Yeah, I mean, you can try out something for the for the KuCoin deposit wallet, for example, that is in the list, and you see that the relations between all those wallets that appear, then it's so unlikely that there is an error in the data and that is in fact a TFL wallet. That is highly unlikely. So that is very high confidence that this is really a KuCoin wallet. And same, of course, for the Binance wallet, we know for sure that it is a Binance wallet because it is in their whitelisting agreement, and it's also the deposit wallet that was used until I think a year ago for all of the deposits that users made to Binance. So
Yep. You and I watched that happen. We literally
yeah, the
watched them.
HT5. The HT5 is so well known. It's yeah. I think majority of users that someone deposited to Binance will recognize that wallet.
Absolutely. So our data has been honed in over a very long period of time, and without tooting our own horn, I would say we have one of the most in-depth indexes at this point, which will also show up on Money Flow, which is what I had up on my screen just a moment ago. So even to the point of where if you're using the Money Flow tool and you just hover over a wallet, it will cross-reference it and it will say, well, okay, this is the Wormhole Token Bridge wallet here, and then over here we've got the market module. Over here, we've got the KuCoin hot wallet. We've introduced a very complex system that handles a lot of data and packs it down into a neat system that works in infinity. You can just keep tracking wallets and keep opening wallets and keep following transactions. And this tool in itself has already given us the ability to double, triple check everything going forward. So if you're not using this website, if you're not using the wallet system, it's all there, it's all available to everybody, and it's free to use. You don't need to sign up, there's nothing complex with it, and it's as simplified as possible. One thing I do want to do just here at the end of the video is give a huge shout out to my main man himself, Strafe Cole, because for 2 years we've worked together. We constantly back and forth on things. We're just always working to try and figure things out and move forward together. And I just want to give you a huge thanks, Strafe, especially for coming into all of these episodes and the podcast and taking time out of your day to come in and show stuff and go through it. So I really appreciate it. I hope everybody's got some good information from that, and you can go away, you can speak about it, you can share this video to other people so they can be informed about the discrepancies in this wallet list, and then we can discuss it in the space and we can collectively move forward together. And Strafe, I think the argument with the last wallet that we obviously went through of all of these problems of getting those funds eventually burned in that contract, but a lot of people, there was two sides to that. There was a lot of like ethics behind it. Terraport wasn't too happy that was happening, but we couldn't blacklist wallets then. And I just think everything this time, everybody agrees that these funds need to burn. So I think it's going to be a little bit easier at least. But we'll leave it on that note. Strafe, any finishing points here? Anything you want to shout out? Anyone you want to shout out? Your projects, validator, whatever.
No, I appreciate your shout out at first, but I think it would be nice. Many people use different CEXs, so there are, of course, also many people that might recognize one or the other address from the list. And if there's one of them that we don't have yet on LUNC Dash with the name on it, then it would be nice to get that from the people.
Absolutely. I think we could get like a request section up maybe where you can just say, okay, well, this might be that one, and just put a request in. Maybe that would be a good way of doing it, and people then could just do it. So we'll definitely look into that. Strafe, I really appreciate you, the man. Looking forward to the
Thank
space
you.
tomorrow. Hope to see you there as a co-host,
I will
hopefully.
try. Yeah, I will try to.
But folks, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, hitting that notifications bell to stay informed. And other than that, just beware of scammers, beware of doppelgangers, beware of anybody pretending to be me. And I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao.